Hello there guys, welcome to one of my live videos, and on this video there's a few topics to delve into. I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho. Also going to be giving you the latest news on Wissam Yedder. I haven't spoken with you about Wissam Yedder for quite some time, and I will delve into a bit more topics a bit later on in the video. So we will start with the news on Jadon Sancho. So there has been positivity coming out recently regarding Jadon Sancho, because David Ornstein, who's a credible journalist, he came out earlier on today and said there is a great chance that Jadon Sancho will join Manchester United in the summer. So, this is very, very good news. And Manchester United do remain the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho. But David Ornstein, has been talking a lot recently, not only about Sancho, but he's also been talking about Timo Werner from RB Leipzig. David Ornstein came out last week and he actually, said that, Borussia Dortmund won't sell Sancho for less than £100 million, because Dortmund have said they've said numerous times, that they want at least £100 million, and, they have remained ruthless over their valuation. But like I updated you on a video that I did yesterday night, the Borussia Dortmund managing director, can't remember his name, but he came out and said that players' transfer valuations will drop, due to the coronavirus crisis. So, we're looking to get Jadon Sancho for a cut price deal. It said last week from the Evening Standard, we're only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for Sancho, but I did say, neither of them figures are going to be enough to convince, Borussia Dortmund to offload him. I think, Jadon Sancho's keen on coming to Manchester United anyway, because he did say a while back, if he was to leave Borussia Dortmund, his preference would be moved to Manchester United. Don't forget, also to Chelsea have been in for the player. Obviously, you saw reports coming out the other week, saying that we've changed our plans and we're planning to sign Jadon Sancho next summer instead of this summer. Borussia Dortmund said themselves the other week, that they expect Jadon Sancho to stay with them for this summer and that. But, I've outlined a couple of the reasons, why it's beneficial for us to recommend Jadon Sancho in, because Sancho will dramatically improve us. He is predominantly a right winger, and don't forget, Manchester United are in search for a right winger. He's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Obviously, Rashford did reveal earlier on in the season that he wants Jadon Sancho at Man United next season. And another main explanation is because he is well proven in the Premier League. Because obviously, before he was at Dortmund, he endured 2 years at Manchester City. But the main explanation why he had to leave Manchester City is because he did not get any first-team opportunities. This is why he left City. Before he was at Manchester City, he was at Watford. So Jadon Sancho began his footballing career in London, and he was at Watford for several years. City did pay £500,000 to him from Watford. And obviously, City sold him then to Borussia Dortmund for around £8 million and that. I think it was £8 million. So Dortmund, selling him, they are going to make a huge profit on the player. But David Ornstein also did mention, that there's, quite a few clubs that, have been in negotiations with Jadon Sancho's representatives and that. But I think, Jadon Sancho probably, will leave Dortmund in the summer because, Dortmund have had a few players on their agenda who could replace Jadon Sancho, and that, they've recently been interested in Charlie Webster, that 16-year-old from Chelsea. And Dortmund are known as a selling football club because, like I mentioned, Dortmund have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. Obviously, they let Aubameyang go, to Arsenal a couple of years ago. They let Christian Pulisic go to Chelsea. Obviously, they sold Mkhitaryan, Shinji Kagawa, Ilkwan Gundogan. Obviously, the players that they let go who didn't go to the Premier League, was Ousmane Dembele. He went to Spain, he went to Barcelona. And obviously, they let Matt Hummels go. So, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club. They've recruited a few players in recent years and stuff. They got Haaland in January, who's done very, very well for them. They also got Thorgan Hazard on the board. So, there you go. But like Fabrizio Romano broke out, a while back, he said we've been working on Jadon Sancho's contracts for quite some time, and we've also been in negotiations with his agent. But we've already confirmed, because it said this a couple of weeks ago, that we are not willing to smash our transfer record for Jadon Sancho. We're not willing to do it. And obviously, we are willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7. Obviously, I've had number 7 vacant, for quite some time. I've obviously got number 7 vacant at the moment, and that I think Jadon Sancho would do very, very well in the number 7. I think Manchester City do benefit from it, if he's sold, because I think they get around 15% of the transfer fee. Sancho still got a contract with Dortmund until 2022, so still got a couple of years remaining on his current contract. We've been relentlessly linked with him. He's our number 1 priority target for the summer. Obviously, we went in for Jadon Sancho in 2017, and this was before Jadon Sancho, went to Borussia Dortmund, But obviously, reflect on his good performances for Dortmund, this is why his valuation has persistently grown, and Sancho is only at the age of 20. There's still reports saying that Liverpool are interested in him, Real Madrid have also been in for the player. But I really, really do want him at Manchester United, because I think he'd complement our attacking line very, very well alongside the likes of Greenwood, Rashford and Anthony Martial and that. Maybe, Champions League football could depend on, whether we get, Jadon Sancho or not. So if we get Champions League, then we've got a much better chance of getting him. If we don't get Champions League, then maybe, he could reject a move to Old Trafford. But if Sancho was to go back to London, I think he'd go to Chelsea, because, like I said, I don't think he'll go to Arsenal. I don't think he'll go to Tottenham, because, like I said, Daniel Levy doesn't like to spend money. Yeah, he definitely won't go back to Watford. So, yeah, I think, he would go to Chelsea if he was to make a return back to London. But for all we know, Sancho, could stay at Dortmund for another season and that. But, So, yeah, I think maybe if we was to offer 80 million for Sancho, or maybe 90 million pounds, that could then be tempting for Borussia Dortmund. But Dortmund have already said, if Sancho wants to leave, they will not step in his way in that. So, yeah, this is good news that's come out today, and this has been stemming from David Ornstein. So, we do remain the favourites, and we've been favourites for a while, of getting the player on the board. Now, let's give you the news on Wissam Ben Yedder from Monaco. Let's give you the news on him. So I've been reading, I was reading reports earlier on today. I actually read this in ESPN, and it does actually say that Monaco could be forced to sell Wissam Ben Yedder this summer. Now, the main explanations for this is because Monaco are struggling financially. Obviously, a lot of teams are struggling financially, with the coronavirus pandemic, and finances are an uncertainty for the summer transfer window. And obviously, I think it mentioned as well that Monaco will have to get rid of around 30 bloated players or something like that. It mentioned in team talk. Wissam Ben Yedder, could be available for around £40 million, so that's a cheap solution. I think it reported out, was it last month, saying, it could be available for £40 million. But yeah, Man United have expressed their interest in the player. I think there was obviously been a few other clubs that have been in for Wissam Ben Yedder before. Now, this has been Wissam Ben Yedder's first season with Monaco. This has been his first season with them. I don't really know how he's performed. I haven't really watched much of him at Monaco. I think he's got around, 19 goals this season for Monaco. Obviously, Monaco did pay around £35 million for him from Sevilla last summer. Monaco did trigger his release clause, and he has got a contract with Monaco until 2024. Like I've said, he is in his late 20s, he's Wissam Ben Yedder. I think he does turn 30 next month. In August, Wissam Ben Yedder turns 30. But yeah, and analysing Wissam Ben Yedder at Sevilla, I thought he was very, very good. He enjoyed a good 3 years with Sevilla. Before he was at Sevilla, he was at Toulouse, was the player. He was at Toulouse. Like I said, Monaco have sold a lot of their best players in recent years. Don't forget, like sold Fabinho to Liverpool, they sold Mbappe to PSG, they sold Benjamin Mendy to Manchester City. They did. I think they let Bakayoko go to Chelsea. They let Bakayoko go to Chelsea. They also let Thomas Lemar go to Atletico Madrid. So Monaco have lost quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. They really, really haven't that. But yeah, do you think Wissam Ben Yedder would be the right calibre player for Manchester United? He's a prolific goal scorer. Maybe there's an element of concern regarding his age, but £40 million is a cheap solution for the player. And obviously, he's a striker, and Manchester United are in search for a striker. And like I said to there has been a hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda in that. Because like I said to these uncertainty over Odion Ighalo's future. We are facing a dilemma with Odion Ighalo, like I've mentioned, because we don't know if we are going to be getting Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. Shanghai Shenhua did say, that if they were to let him go on a permanent transfer, they would want around £20 million, but maybe we've got reservations about paying, £20 million for Odion Ighalo. His loan spell at the football club does expire at the end of next month. His loan spell does expire at the club. Odion Ighalo did reveal, though, that he wants his loan deal extended at Manchester United. Now, I've got to make an admission, Ighalo has enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, lifelong Man United fan. And he's been, a great cover-up to Marcus Rashford as Odion Ighalo. He really, really has been a good cover-up to him. But yeah, so maybe we won't get Odion Ighalo on a permanent transfer. By the way, I think we are paying like a third of his wages at the moment. Because I think his wage at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week and that. So there you go. Revert back to what I said about Wissam Ben Yedder. He would be the vocal point. He would be a different type of forward. So like I said, Rashford and Anthony Martial. So would you take Wissam Ben Yedder at Manchester United? He's not the only player, though, from Liga 1, we've been in for. We've been in for a couple of other players from Liga 1. Don't forget we've been in for Moussa Dembele from Lyon. There was a lot of reports coming out last week from the mainstream media saying, we'd allegedly agreed a fee in the region of £62 million with Lyon for Moussa Dembele. Because reports were coming out a couple of weeks ago saying that Moussa Dembele will find it hard to reject a move to Man United. And he did say, he wants to come to Manchester United, Moussa Dembele. Now, also, too, Chelsea have been tracking the player. And we've inquired about Moussa Dembele's availability before. Moussa Dembele is a very, very good player. Prolific goal scorer, hold-up player, very, very good. And I think he's done well at all the clubs that he's been at so far. Lyon is the 3rd club in his playing career. I think he's been a revelation since his arrival in France. Lyon did pay £20 million in from Celtic in the summer of 2018. So this has been his 2nd season with Lyon. He has got a contract with Lyon till 2023. I thought he was very, very good in Scotland with Celtic before he went to Lyon. Very, very good there. And he was also very, very good at Fulham when he was younger. Moussa Dembele began his, senior career with Fulham. So he is well Premier League proven as well. And he's only very, very young, as Moussa Dembele. Obviously, Victor Osimhen as well. He's another player from the Liga 1 that has been on our agenda and that. So there you go. You already know the news on Raul Jimenez. I've been talking with you a lot about Raul Jimenez, haven't I, on a regular basis. I'm very, very sceptical that Manchester United will sign Raul Jimenez in the summer. Duncan Castles, he tends to be very, very close to Manchester United. And, he's been speaking about a few things recently, but, he's been talking, about, Raul Jimenez and that, and he was saying that Wolves have decided that they're going to let Raul Jimenez go at the end of the season if the right offer comes in. Probably Raul Jimenez would probably cost in the 60-odd or 70-odd million pound range, because obviously, Wolves are going to want to generate quite a bit more money than what they paid for him, because Wolves did pay 34 million last summer to get him permanently. Wolves got him permanently, reflecting on what he did when he was on loan with Wolves. And Raul Jimenez has got a contract with Wolves until 2023. But Duncan Castles revealed that, Man United and Juventus are set to battle it out for his signature. Obviously, Raul Jimenez's father, who was also called Raul Jimenez, has been, talking, about, his son's future with Wolves and that. And, according to his father, he says his son is happy with Wolves and he's hoping to get Wolves into Champions League and Europa League positions. But, yeah. Like I said to George Mendes has been working with Wolves in recent years and that, and he's been working on Wolves getting another current replacement for Raul Jimenez. But I think Raul Jimenez goes very very well in Wolves' team alongside likes of Jota and Adam Traore and stuff like that. He did say, by the way, Raul Jimenez, that he was happy himself at Wolves early on this month, but he did say if like Real Madrid or Barcelona came knocking, he would consider leaving Wolves. So he's recently, been another striker on our agenda. Like I said to you, Harry Kane's out of the equation. Harry Kane's not going to be coming to Manchester United. We know that. So yeah, there's been a hell of a lot of strikers on our agenda. By the way, Manchester United returned to training today, so that's very, very good news. Because don't forget, the Premier League come out with a statement on Monday and said, that clubs voted to return to smaller group training, smaller training groups. Yeah, they voted to return to smaller training groups. So this is a step forward, for the Premier League resuming. I think the season's going to be resuming sometime next month, which is very, very good news. I think it's going to be starting on the 19th of June. And as you all know, it's Tottenham and Man United. That is going to be the first Premier League game back. Wait there a second. It's going to be the first Premier League game back, and it is live on Friday Night Football. The season's been suspended for the good, is it 9 or is it even 10 weeks now? It has been suspended and that. But it's good, that it is resuming. Obviously, the Bundesliga is back already. Yeah, we've been back in training today, which is good. Obviously, we informed our players anyway that we was planning to return to training, on the week beginning the 18th of May. Don't forget our players were at Carrington on Sunday, obviously, to get tests for COVID-19. Rashford's been visiting Carrington in the last couple of weeks to obviously, step up his fitness regime. Obviously, Marcus Rashford, was out with a back injury. He sustained the back injury in our 1-0 win against Wolves in the FA Cup third round replay. And, like I said, Rashford's been a big miss because overall Rashford's one of our best players, and he was one of our best players earlier on in the season before he sustained this injury and that. But when the season resumes next month, Rashford's going to be back because I think he's fully fit now, if I am correct. But he was visiting Carrington for the last couple of weeks as well to get treatment. We also know that Paul Pogba's going to be back as well. I think Paul Pogba is now back from his ankle injury. I think, was it last week, he was training in the Cheshire Cricket Club, and obviously he's been training today. So Paul Pogba stepped up his fitness regime. Pogba's only played 8 times this season for the football club. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last time Paul Pogba played for us was on Boxing Day, and the last time he started from the start was back in September. So it will also be good to see Paul Pogba back. And to be honest with you, I'm very, very excited about Paul Pogba playing alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield because, they've not yet had chance to play together in our midfield. But Solskjaer confirmed the other week anyway, before we all return to training, that we've got a fully fit squad for when the season does resume, because we have had a lot of injuries this season and throughout the course of this season. So reflecting on that, we've obviously had to make rotation. We've had to make rotation. Obviously, you saw my video that I did earlier on today as well, by the way, didn't you? I give you the news on Adam Traore from Wolves. He's the latest player to be on, one of the latest players to be on Manchester United's agenda. Because it was stemming from Leeds End Sport today, which is a French outlet, and they've said Man United, City, Liverpool and Bayern Munich are all interested in Adam Traore. I think this has been Adam Traore's second season at Wolves, if I'm correct. I think it's been his second season with them because, Wolves did pay around £18 million for him from Middlesbrough back in 2018. They paid £18 million for him. Adam Traore's got a contract with Wolves until 2023. I think he's made around 79 appearances in all competitions since his arrival at Wolves. Raul Jimenez can play as a wing-back and he can also operate as a winger. Would I take him at Manchester United? Yeah. Well proven in the Premier League. He was also key, for Wolves, finishing 7th last season. He was also key for them, getting to the FA Cup semi-finals for the first time in 21 years last season and that. But, yeah, I was hearing reports as well saying that Wolves' valuation is allegedly £133 million. So obviously, that will put a lot of teams off. But you know, probably you could. I think that's just the media on that aspect justifying their existence. You'd probably get Adam Traore maybe for 60, maybe £70 million. But yeah, obviously, Adam Traore when he was younger, he played for Aston Villa. I think he didn't. I think he enjoyed the short tenure with Aston Villa. And before he was at Aston Villa, he was at Barcelona because he began his career with Barcelona. Did Adam Traore, and he was there for several years. And he's only the age of 24, so he's recently as well now been on our agenda in that. Obviously, the news as well on Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. We are reportedly, close to signing Jude Bellingham from Birmingham. Like I said, Ed Woodward is plotting a triple transfer swoop for Jude Bellingham, Mark Jawado, and Joe Hugel. So, they're the three players, that we do want to get in. Don't forget as well, we also want to get Jude Bellingham's brother as part of getting Jude Bellingham in. His brother is called Joe Bellingham, and his brother is around 15 years of age, but Jude Bellingham's only 16 years of age himself. Like I said, Jude Bellingham's probably going to cost us around £30 million. £30 million. Don't forget, we've made a promise to Jude Bellingham that, if he comes to Manchester United in the summer, he will immediately get first team football, which is obviously, very, very good news. Jude Bellingham's versatility is very, very good, because he can play as a left, right winger. He can play centrally, and you can also operate him in the number 10, Jude Bellingham. He has played persistently this season in the Championship. He's played around 35 games in all competitions this season as Bellingham. He became the youngest player to represent Birmingham because he made his debut at the age of 16 years and 38 days. And obviously, he's expected to sign his professional contract, Jude Bellingham, when he does turn 17. I think he is 17 next month, if I am correct. Don't forget, back in March, Bellingham had visited our Carrington training ground because he held talks with Sir Alex Ferguson, and also to, Ed Woodward had negotiations with, his parents. So there's been positivity coming out regarding Jude Bellingham. But obviously, the reports that have been coming out recently are totally contrast to the ones that were coming out a couple of months ago, because a couple of months ago it did say that Borussia Dortmund are emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham and that. So there you go. So yeah, like I said, there has been a hell of a lot of players on our agenda. Like I said, we've already revealed our plans for the summer transfer window. Like I've said to you on my recent videos, I think we can enjoy the perfect summer transfer window. Even though Solskjaer did make a transfer statement, he made a transfer statement the other week, and said we will enjoy a different summer transfer window, to the recent ones that we have enjoyed. But I think we can be the most competitive in the transfer window out of the top 6 clubs. I really, really do, because our transfer strategy for the summer, obviously the top 6 clubs do fear it. They really, really do. And Solskjaer's already said, he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer, because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders. And he's already identified the areas in the squad where he does need to strengthen up and that. He wants to recommend a centre forward in. He wants to recommend a central midfielder in and a right winger. And there's still some reports emerging out saying that he wants to recommend a centre half in to the football club and that. So there you go. And don't forget, Solskjaer's got the backing of Ed Woodward. He's got the backing of Ed Woodward as Solskjaer, because Ed Woodward has said on numerous occasions this season, that he's willing to back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. And, he has assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe a few times, even though we've enjoyed our worst start ever, to a Premier League season. And, we have been inconsistent for the vast majority of this season, but maybe Ed Woodward, does believe that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is the foreseeable future for Manchester United, And, I think, definitely Solskjaer does deserve at least another season at the club, and he deserves at least a couple of more transfer windows and that. Solskjaer has been here over a year. He's been here around 17 months, including, the 3 months when he was the interim manager. And I'm very, very delighted, with the players that Solskjaer's recommended in so far. So far, he's recommended 5 players in 3 transfer windows and spent around £220 million. Last summer, he brought Daniel James, Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. And in January, he recommended Bruno Fernandes and Odion Ighalo in. So in the summer transfer window, it will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager in that. And he still wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British players to Manchester United. But like I've said, we've been criticised, for several years now. The main explanations why we're being criticised is like reflecting on how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also been criticised, for overpaying for players, because I will make an admission, we have overpaid for players in recent years. So this is why, we have been criticised in that. And, like I said, in general, I was very, very critical of Solskjaer earlier on in the season, but I think a lot of Manchester United fans were very, very critical of Solskjaer earlier on in the season. But obviously, reflecting on that good run we had before the football season got suspended, that changed quite a few Man United's perceptions on Solskjaer. Because, we are unbeaten in our last 11 games in all competitions. And when the season resumes next month, Solskjaer will be under pressure, to keep that good run of form up. Solskjaer was so close to getting sacked earlier on this season. He was very, very close to getting the sack. He was. Obviously, at that point, there was talks of Mauricio Pochettino coming in. There was talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. At that point, don't forget, we went in for Mauricio Pochettino after, Jose Mourinho got sacked back in December 2018 and that. But like I've said to you, I've taken positives from Solskjaer's tenure, and there's also, negatives I've taken as well, because there's some positives and there's also some negatives. Like I said, Solskjaer's approach to the big games this season of, being very, very good, because we've taken 17 points against the big 6 sides this season. Like I said, there's players that have improved under Solskjaer. I think Solskjaer as well, has promoted the youth very, very well, so I will give him that. And he's tried a few different elements, and stuff like he's, changed formation persistently this season. Like I said, he needs to work out his best formation. Maybe needs to make a tactical change as well. Maybe needs to put a couple of players in different positions. I don't know. But yeah. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Alex Ferguson era. Like I said, we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers. We really, really haven't got the structure to keep sacking managers. But we've sacked Moyes, Louis van Gaal and Jose Mourinho since the Alex Ferguson era. And in the last 6 or 7 years, we have been playing catch-up. We have spent close to the £1 billion range in the last 6 or 7 years on players, and we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. We have recruited over 30-odd players in. Like I said, we haven't dominated football since the Ferguson era. Like I said, Ferguson endured 26 years at Manchester United and won a total of 38 major honours. Won a total of 38 major honours and that, one of the most decorated managers of all time. Like I said, Solskjaer won't replicate Ferguson's legacy. No manager will replicate Ferguson's legacy at Man United. But there again, Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club and that. He didn't win out in his first 4 years and that. But we've got to give Solskjaer a bit more time. We have made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years as well. That's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent in that. There's players over the years we've brought in who we shouldn't have got rid of. We made a mistake giving Solskjaer the job permanently, but we give him the job permanently reflecting on what he did when he was the interim manager. Like I said, Ferguson made one mistake, but the only mistake he made was ever recommending David Moyes in that. So there you go. So we have made quite a lot of mistakes. I think there's some players who we've given contracts to as well who we shouldn't have given contracts to. But, we have extended a lot of players' contracts since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer came in. There's still around 9 players. There's around 9 players' contracts at the football club that do expire at the end of next year, not the end of next year. Around 9 players from Man United's contracts do expire. So that's something else we do need to resolve in that. So there you go. Solskjaer's got rid of a lot of the deadwood, like I mentioned, since he got recommended in as well. Solskjaer's planning to get probably rid of around 6 or 7 players in the summer. I think we're going to get rid of Jones. We're going to get rid of Pereira. We're going to get rid of Lingard. We're probably going to get rid of Smalling and Rojo on permanent transfers. You know, it's been confirmed today, by the way, that we're going to extend Smalling, Rojo's and Sanchez's loans. We're going to extend their loans, yeah, until for the remainder of the season. We're going to extend their loans and that. But, you know, I don't think they'll come back to Manchester United. You know, we could possibly get rid of Diego Dalot. I think definitely, you know, Angel Gomez is leaving, you know, because there's no signs of him signing a new contract. I think Angel Gomez is going to go next month when his contract expires, so he's going to go on a free transfer. Like I updated this morning, you know, we're going to allow James Garner to go out on loan next season. You know, there's 3 clubs from the Championship that want to get him, and that's Sheffield Wednesday, Cardiff, and Swansea. You know, because Garner obviously, you know, can't getting, you know, he's not getting enough first team opportunities. He's James Garner. You know, he's only 19. He's James Garner. You know, I think he's made around 7 first team appearances for Man United. I think, you know, we're going to be loaning Dylan Levitt out as well. There's talks that we're going to loan Ethan Laird out. You know, so we're going to loan a few players out, but we've got quite a few players out on loan at the moment. So there you go and that. So that's mainly everything to update you with today, guys. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always. And take care, God bless, and I'll see you all again very, very soon.